What's up, fellow collectors? P Rockzilla back again, and today is a special double dipping review. What's double dipping? Double dipping is when you double dip the chips into a different dip. Now I'm going to play. My double dipping reviews are basically reviews where I'm gonna basically review mostly when I have basically two figures together. This is basically a deluxe version and a regular version. So my double dipping reviews, I'm basically gonna review both the regular and the deluxe if I have both versions, and it's gonna be mostly on the deluxe version, and I'll just basically show the difference between the deluxe and the regular version, just in case people want to see what's the difference between the two to help them decide which one they should purchase. So today we're gonna be taking a look at PlayArt's Kai NieR Automata 2B. This game was a sleeper hit. This came out on the PlayStation 4, and I heard of it before because I remember playing the previous game. But when I first saw this game, I thought it was more of like a because the character, I'm not gonna lie, the character is a little, a little in a good way, revealing, raunchy, if you want to say. So especially when she does a self-destruct scene where her skirt disappears and you get to see the culo. But because of that, it kind of pushed me away from the game at first. But then I saw many reviews and I heard people talking about it and how much of a masterpiece the game actually is. So I went ahead and purchased the video game, and I gotta agree, this game is a masterpiece. It starts off slow and is a little confusing at first, but once the story starts rolling and you start getting used to the characters and into each individual storyline, you start appreciating what the story gives you in the game. Now, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't played the game yet, but basically it's kind of like humans versus robots and stuff, kind of like a Matrix feel. So if you guys haven't played the game, please check the game out when you get a chance. Now I know there's a new one coming out soon, but you don't get to play the same characters as 2B in that game. But anyways, I love the game. I love the characters. Even my daughters love the character. So once I found out that these characters were made in PlayArt's Kai line, I had to pick them up since I have the Final Fantasy ones, and I love those figures. So let's get this review started. Oh, I'm sorry, just real quick. So that one right there in the front is the deluxe, as you can see from the beginning. I mean, in the front of the box, and the one behind it is the regular version. Yep. So let's get this party. I want to talk about. See, I'm excited about this. Let's get this review started. Dale. All right, so here we got both boxes laid out. And just from the front, the only difference between the two, as you can see, the deluxe version has the deluxe version sticker right here, where the regular one does not. Both have the PlayArt's Kai seals right here, so you can let you know that basically you bought an official product, not a bootleg. So, and then the bottom, both are the same. These boxes are a little bit heavier, so I'm trying to, not hold them both at the same time. So let's go ahead and just try to flip these together. Oops, sorry, knocked the camera over. Sorry about that, people. All right. So then from the sides, same thing. Both, no difference between the two. In the back, same thing. No difference between the two. All the legal information. You get a little picture of 2B right here. Now, one thing I did notice on my regular version is the box came like not really completely sealed, not glued. You can feel the glue here. It sticks on there, but as you can see, eventually it opens up again. So thank God I'm not a collector who keeps my figures in boxes, because I would have been kind of upset about that. So anyways, let's continue. So if you move it over here, same thing here, no difference. And then on the top, same thing, no difference. All right, guys. So like I said, when I get these open up, I'm going to mostly show the deluxe version, and I'll just show the regular version when there's a difference between the two, accessory-wise or figure-wise. All right, guys. Let's get these girls out the box. I did forget to show one thing on the box portion. If you open the flap, you can actually see the figure in there. So when you open the flap, you kind of get the figure, and you get this little interference type grid going on. That's mostly in the game. You get to see that a lot. It's kind of like a matrix type interference type grid thing. And this is basically the character in the game. So, and here's the figure. And as you can see, the difference between the two, the regular and the deluxe, as you can see from one part of the package is, I keep hitting that camera, these boxes are pretty big. You can see that the regular version doesn't come with the head sculpts. See the two face sculpts right there on the deluxe version right here. All right, now we'll get these girls out the boxes. So here we have both figures out the box. I removed the first part of the clamshell on both figures. And this is basically what you get for both figures. And this is the difference between the Deluxe and the regular. So let's go ahead real quick and just go through. I'll take all the accessories out after this because I want to go through them in detail. But just for now, just so you can see them in the clamshell, so you can see how the figures accessories go and where they go, just in case you ever need to repackage it. So with the Deluxe version, as you can see, you get the same thing, you get the same figure, you get the same set of hands, you get the same sword right here. Difference is, Deluxe version, you get the two different face sculpts. You get the one without the, I'll pull them out. Let's bring this up right here. So you get the one without the mask on, and the one with the mask on but with the mouth open. As you can see, on the regular version, you don't get any face sculpts. That spot is empty. All right, so now this is where the big difference between the Deluxe and the regular version comes in. So once you remove that and you lift up this shell, I'm gonna go ahead and put them on the box. This is what you get with the regular version. You basically just get the stand with the base and two different clamps. Now when you remove the blister for the Deluxe edition, you get a lot more things here. So here, as you can see, you get additional packaging, and this is where the Deluxe version comes in. You get the robot that follows you around during the game. These pieces right here are what's going to hold the weapons. So if you played the game, you know that the weapons actually float behind them, and that's what these rings are for. The rings kind of like hold the weapon behind the character. It's kind of like, you know, like a, I don't know, Matrix robotic type thing going on there where it just holds the items for them. And this is the waist part that you get with the Deluxe version. And then you get the bigger sword. I forget the name of these sword. I gotta look up the weapons names. Each weapon has their own name. And then you get the stand for the robot. And this is the, like I said, the lower body when she does that self-destruct thing where she blows up and she comes back, but she comes back with her skirt destroyed. This is what's under it. All right, and then after that, you get the same stand and base as the regular version. So the difference is, Deluxe gives you this sheet, additional weapons, body part, effects, the robot, and you get the two different face sculpts. These two. All right, so now that you know what the Deluxe version gives you and what the regular one gives you, I'm gonna go ahead and get these figures and all the accessories out so we can have a better detailed look at each accessory and the figure. Here she is, the Deluxe version with everything that comes with her, accessory wise, figure wise, that comes in the package all laid out. So I'm just gonna go order real quick. So let's take a quick look at the figure first. So as you can see, this is a good representation of 2B. The hair is a soft plastic, so it is a little bit malleable. Then you have somewhat the see-through shirt. And the little raven feather type ripples on her sleeves. The skirt itself too is like a soft plastic, so it is a little bit posable. I mean, you can move it around, adjust it a little bit. Get a quick look at her. And then you got the stockings. So everything that you see in the game is on the figure. So I was so close to buying it was like a third-party Feisen one, but some of the parts on the costume weren't identical to the game, so it kind of held me off a little bit. I knew eventually with the popularity of this character, I knew PlayArts would make a figure for this character. All right, so she looks good. Got the high heels. Oh, joint's a little loose down there, but we'll go over that during articulation. I'm not sure what that is. If you look at really close to the joint, it's like some powder there. You can see this joint's a little loose, but that's what the stands are for. All right, so we got her. So this is our Virtuous Treaty. This is the name of the sword. And this is the sword you start the game with. This is a plastic, and that is actual like a metal clip there, so it does get the hanging effect. While I have the sword up, this is part that goes onto the base, that if you want to have the weapon displayed behind her, you would normally add this effect. Like I said, in the game, these are the things that hold the weapons for the character behind them. So I know this would basically plug in. I'll just show you guys real quick. That'll plug into that hole right there. And then the sword will go right into there. And this attaches to the base. So you can basically have the sword folded behind her if you don't want her wielding it. And that's what that effect part is for. So let's go ahead and put this down. And this one is for the bigger sword, the bigger version. So this is another sword that you get in the game. You know me, I love those big swords. Anything berserk wise, I'm gonna have to check out. So same thing with this one. This one goes to this little peg right here, and you use the bigger round, like effect part. Same thing. Plug that into the little hole there, and then the sword slides right into the slot there. And that's how it goes. It'll go something like that. So that's what that piece is for. Now this piece right here, this is basically the bottom part of the sword. So this is how you would get her to wield the sword. Just slide the hand. Let's see if I can show you real quick. The hand slides right into there. And then you just reattach this part right here to the slot there. And then there you go. You get the whole sword. Put that down. Let's move along. You get two hands, two weapon wielding hands. Look at the detail there. All right. And you get two open hand action hands. And those are good. You guys already saw the effect parts. You get the open mouth dynamic screaming face. And then you get the face without the mask on. You get to see 2B's beauty. You get the Unit 42 pod. Like I said, in the game, this is kind of like your companion. He follows you around. He helps you out. You can actually have him shoot, heal you up. This is cool. I like the paint application. It actually looks metal. It's not hard plastic. All right. And then you get the lower body portion. Like I said, I'm going to have... So the reason I got two of these to have her displayed in her regular form and then have her displayed with the destroyed body form. You know I got to have this. Mira, 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 mira. Tiene tremendo culo. So yeah, so this is the part you would basically take off the body there and reattach it there so you can have her with a destroyed body part portion. Went over that. We have the base here for this, and then we have the two length stands. So you have a shorter length one and a longer length one. It's up to you if you want to do dynamic pose. What I would think is the shorter one would be more for like if you want to just keep her in a museum pose. You hear that, Eddie? Museum pose. And then you have the weapons behind her, and I'm pretty sure this longer one is more if you want to have her in a dynamic action pose. You can have her up in the air more, jumping or whatever you want to do. And then she does come with, you can put the stands on any part of the base. And then she does come with two different plastic piece clamps. Now these are not self-adjusting. You basically have to open them and clamp them yourself. Same thing with this one. And that will attach to the top of the base. Right there. All right. And you do get this informational instruction book right here. That shows you how everything goes. All right. So that's pretty much everything there. So might as well go through articulation real quick since we got her here. All right. So let's see what the head moves. Now, Play Arts Kai, I only had issue with one with my Barrett. The elbow joint when it came, it was kind of like inverted where I couldn't basically pose it up like this because the opposing part was pointed the other direction. So I'm gonna be a little careful with her. I'm not sure if we're gonna have any issues with any Play Arts Kai figures, but let's see. All right. So the head does move. It could go 360. Let's go that way. She can look up that much. She could look all the way down. So that's good head articulation. All right. And the hands can go all the way up. The joints are a little stiff there, so it got me a little nervous, but this should be good. So she can go all the way up like that. All right. And then they do come down a little bit. The joints, as you can see, you can adjust them down a little bit to have more articulation, to kind of make the hands go out more. So you do got to push them down a little bit to have the T-pose. All right. The elbows do bend. Not, oh wait, you do get full 90, so you get double jointed elbows. Let's see, you do get the bicep pivot. So you could do a little sprinkler. All right, that does move down. So let's go ahead and put the hand this way again. Let's bring that down. And you can adjust that, all right. So let's move that. Let's just keep this out so we can get good. Remember, you got to push the hands down if you want to get that part of the shoulder inside there. All right. So she does get, ooh, that comes right out. Oh, so that's easy. That's when you swap out the body part. All right, so she does twist around. Now, when you got to keep in mind, when you do twist, this portion here is going to lift it, raise it up a little bit, so you're going to have that gap there. But she could twist all the way around. She gets decent ab crunch, not too good. She can move back about that much. All right. Now, you are going to be hindered with the articulation of the legs because of the skirt. And I know these are ratcheted joints for the legs. So the legs, let's see if we can get it further out. Same thing with the hands. You got the, yep. So the legs go about that much high. No big Hogan boot for her. Oh, those joints are real tight. Woo, got me nervous. So yeah, you could probably get it higher, but like I said, because of the skirt, ooh, sexy. Because of the skirt, you can be hindered a little bit. Yeah, those joints are hard. All right. She could do a split. This is gonna be, I'm gonna feel like a freckle here. She could do the split. But once again, like I said, the skirt's gonna hinder you. So more likely the best articulation is gonna be when you have this portion on her, since you have no hindrance from the skirt. All right, and let's see the knees. So you do, let's move this joint up. You do get double jointed knees. So that's good for some dynamic posing. And the joint, hides it pretty good there. You don't get that Figma joint there. And then the feet, this one's a little bit loose, but you could move the feet all the way back. And you can move that further up. Just bring it down so you can kind of get an idea of how they look. Oh, that's the tight joints. All right. So, yep, all the way back, all the way forward. No pivot side. Oh, a little bit, barely any pivot side to side. And no, is there twisting? Yeah, there is twisting. So you can twist the ankle. All right. I just want to see something real quick. It looks like this joint. I'm not sure if I push this leg out too much. You can see there. Oh no, it's just a rubber part. So that part is rubber. And then there's no pegs in the feet. You got the high heels. All right. Oh, that part's gonna be pain right there. All right. So let's go ahead and show you real quick how to swap out the face. So normally you would just grab the bangs, and the bangs pull forward. So you gotta wedge this out a little bit. As you can see, it comes out there. It's a little tough to get out. There we go. So just pull that out. Get the bangs there. As you can see from some of the articulation, you can see some of the paint chipped in the bottom. So that lets you know that there's joints are tight. And hopefully that was from, I think that was from the elbows. All right. So let's go ahead and swap out the face real quick. So once you take the bangs out, just slide the face right out. And then you can go ahead and just insert the face you want to use. This is kind of, all right, there we go. So it has to go right down there. This is a little tricky there. There we go. Yeah. All right, let's get this on there right. Gotta get there snug in there. It's like a little jammed in there. There we go. All right, so we get the hair on there. And there we go. So there we have her with a different face sculpt. All right. And then same thing with the body, like I said before. Basically, when you wiggle the waist, the body does come off already. And then just give you a quick sample. And then just slide that in there. And there you go. Then you have the destroyed version of 2B. Gotta make that better. All right. And then basically, once you do that, you can detach the legs. The legs go into that portion right there. And then you have her over. I'll have her pose in that form in my final pose. All right, so there we go. We got everything, went over everything in detail real quick. So let's go ahead and do a size comparison, and we'll get some of the accessories on her. Actually, let's just show this real quick. So let's do the hand, so I can show you guys real quick with the sword. So I didn't show it real good last time. So basically, the sword slides right into there, just like that. And then you just slide this right into there. And that's how you have her equip the sword. Same thing with this sword too. It does detach right here, which allows you to slide the hand through there. All right, so let's get her with some of the accessories on. Let's do a size comparison. Okay, so I forgot real quick to go over the articulation of the pod. So as you can see, the hands do articulate separately. The small hands here. You basically have to hold them as you move the bigger hands. They could start wedging out. You just got to pinch here. They'll come tight again. Let's see what else. So the big hands are also articulated, as you can see. You get articulation here. Then you get here and just bends there. And I'm not sure. Nope, there's no articulation there. And another point of articulation is you could pull the arms sideways. So, yep, that's the parts of articulation. Let's just fix this real quick. So you have this hand and this hand that can adjust here, here, and there. Now, it doesn't, the top part doesn't move, so that's static, and then the peg goes right into there. All right, let's do a size comparison. Okay, here she is standing in the regular pose. Good for a size comparison. So let's get the size comparison started. Let's go ahead and bring in some play archaic figures. And let's go ahead with my other chica, Aries. Now, if I had to choose between the two, I don't know, man, this is a tough one. But I think I'll still go with my girl Aries here. So there she goes with Aries. Let's go ahead and bring in Cloud. So there she is. They both are with Cloud. And just for a good size comparison with most collectors, let's bring in a Hot Toys figure. Let's bring in a Hot Toys Stan Lee. No, don't drop her. Dang, she's gentle. All right, so there goes a Hot Toys Stan Lee. And last but not least, of course, I gotta bring in my boy. Let's bring in SH Monster Arts Burning Godzilla. And there we go. So there's a good size comparison for the figures. Gives you a good idea of what to expect once you have your figure in hand. If you have these figures in your collection, you can get an idea of how she's going to fit in your display. All right. So I do have the other NieR Automata figures. I have, was it 9S and A2, which I'm going to do a review for them too also. But I just wanted to get, of course, B2 is the main person there, so I had to get her out there first. All right, so let's go ahead and get final pose and final thoughts. So here we have her posed up real quick. I wanted to get a display without the base for the first pose. She was kind of tricky to get posed because of my ankles a little loose on the joint. but I was finally able to get her somewhat dynamic pose, swinging the bigger sword, and she came out pretty good. I like the articulation on this figure. You know, she's kind of hindered with the skirt. You do get away with more articulation with the lower body that doesn't have the skirt. And right here now, this is one of the deluxe pieces. I'm gonna get another pose up there real quick to have her showing with all the deluxe pieces, so you can get an idea of what she looks like with the robot and the other weapons. And then I'll do one final pose with both the deluxe and the regular version standing there. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at this. As you can see, she holds the weapons good. She is bouncing herself pretty good without the stand. And the accessories are pretty easy to put on. Swapping out the hands was simple. The head was simple. I'm trying to think, the swords were fine too. And she does, like I said, this looks just like the actual video game character. I'm happy that Square Enix finally released an authentic version of her, where I didn't have to buy a third copy and miss out on some of the aspects of the uniform, the costume, and some stuff that were actually missing on there due to licensing issues. So let's go ahead and do a quick pose right now with her and the deluxe pieces, so you guys can get an idea of how she would look. Okay, so here we have her posed with the Pod 42 attached to the base and the two weapons that she has with her. And this is basically how they would set up on the base according to the instructions. There would be another stand I would put on there. That would be to kind of balance her out, which I would use once I put her on my display, because I don't want her falling over, especially with that loose ankle joint. But I was able to get her on there without the other stand, so that worked out pretty good. As you can see, she fits there perfectly. So yeah, so you get the pod, the two weapons in the back, like I said, you get those rings that go around them, and this is basically everything that she comes with for her deluxe version. I would definitely recommend the deluxe version over the regular version, since it comes with more options. But like I said, you know, these play art figures can be a little bit pricey, so if you're only able to get the regular version, that's not a bad choice either, because they're both good figures. If you don't, I mean, I wouldn't recommend a figure if you're not used to the game, but if you like the way the character looks, if you're one of the collectors like me who tend to collect some things that look cool to you, and then you just kind of want to have your display or representation of. But if you do love the game, then I would definitely recommend this deluxe version. So let's go ahead and take one more look before we get the final thought, and let's go ahead and take a look at both the deluxe and regular version on the base. Alright, so here we go. We got them posed up right here. We got the deluxe version and the regular version together. And here you get a good idea of how they look with both accessories equipped. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit just to get you guys a better look. There we go. Alright, so yep, they are both. So I was able to finally get the one with the loose joints standing by herself yet again. It took a little time. Now, another thing I want to mention is the thighs. When you remove the thighs to put into the deluxe version upper body, it is kind of a pain in the butt. I get that, no pun intended, pain in the butt. To remove the thighs, you kind of have to, this sounds weird, but you kind of have to grab the butt of the figure and then the front waist. And then when you grab the thigh, kind of have to do it like in a twisting, pulling action. When you're doing a twisting, pulling action, they start to come loose, and then that's how you basically pull the thighs right off and attach them to the upper body that comes with the deluxe version. As you can see there, I got the robot, the Pod 42 with the regular outfit from the regular version right there with all the weapons equipped in the back. So I gotta say, man, this figure came out good. I mean, some parts, like I like that little joint right there. If you see the one with the skirt off, you see right there with the crotch here, you kind of see the joint in the middle. You know, if you pose it around a little bit, you can kind of avoid that, but it's kind of, you know, tough to do. So that's the only negative I can say. Some of the joints could have been filled in a little bit better. But other than that, man, this figure looks just like the character you get in the video game. All the weapons that come with it are awesome, and they're detailed exactly the way they are in the video game. I wish we got more of the weapons. I think they may be like a weapon pack, because I know they've done it for the Play Arts figures. They released like a weapon pack for these guys or girls. So hopefully they do it with the Play Archive figures if we release a weapon pack, because in the game you actually get a lot more weapons. And I know A2 comes with some of the other weapons that B2 comes with. So I do have her, so that'll be cool to have some of the more weapons displayed with them. Articulations are good in these figures. Everything, the detail, everything is good. Like I said, it's just the joints. So I wish some of the joints could be filled in a little bit better. Other than that, this is almost a near perfect figure. I would recommend it for any NieR Automata figures. Fans. of the game, story, anything. If you're not familiar with the game, then I will say maybe it's up to you if you want to get these figures, if you think they will be cool in your collection. And whichever one you want to get between the deluxe and the regular, like I said, it's up to you. I know at Big Bad Toy Store, the deluxe is $200 and then the regular is $150. I got it from Ami. I think I got it from Ami. I'm trying to remember. So many things coming in, I kind of lose track of what they are. I know other sites do have them a little bit cheaper, maybe about $20 cheaper. So if you want to get them, you know, search around. You're gonna have to search around. I know the deluxe version is sold out at Big Bad Toy Store currently, so you may have to search around some other sites. I can't wait to get the other guys. I guess I have A2 and B9, or I forgot 9A, or I forgot the guy's name. I have him too, so I can't wait to get them all out and display together. So all right, people, if you enjoyed the review, please subscribe, click the like button, hit the bell notification, and as always, collectors, keep collecting, be good, be safe. Dale.